Today I'm going to show you one way that I plan a road trip. For those of you that are familiar with the channel, you've seen Rachel and I take these cross-country road trips for the last 3 years. We're coming up on the 4th time that we're going to be doing a very similar trip here in a couple of weeks, where we go from our home in North Texas out to somewhere in the Smoky Mountains. For 2 years it was in Sevierville, Tennessee. Last year we went to Charlottesville, Virginia. This year we're again going to Charlottesville, Virginia. And I wanted to dedicate a video to the planning for that trip, but specifically why we planned it the way that we did. So if you're looking for the easiest way to plan your EV road trip, it's like this. If you have a car like our Tesla Model 3 or any other EV with really good native navigation, all you have to do for trip planning is tap navigate on your screen and put in the address that you're going to on the trip. This is going to take me a while because it's been a year since we've been to this place. There we go. It remembers it from its history. And then the car is going to plan the route with the charging stops along the way. And that way you know what time it's going to be when you get where you're going. We'll be there at 12:21 p.m. probably tomorrow. It says 9 stops, 1,253 miles, and 21 hours and 39 minutes. Now that's if we left right now, and we're not gonna do that. We're also at a low state of charge right now, so we'd have to supercharge fairly soon. But this is the route that it would take us on from Dallas through Arkansas, the entire diagonal width of Tennessee into Virginia. Tells us where the chargers are, how long we'd probably need to be there, and all of that stuff. So that's the easiest way to do your trip planning. But that's the most direct route, and we kind of want to see a little bit different scenery, and I'm sure that you guys don't want to see the same road trip over and over again. We're trying to add some states to our we've taken an EV through it list, and so I wanted to go a slightly different route. So I needed to dig into the weeds and do a little bit of road trip planning that way. I wanted to go through these cities on these roads, and we needed to get where we're going by a specific time, both directions. So where was going to be the best place to find the hotel? So that's something that the Tesla screen won't tell me, is where am I going to need to get the hotel early enough for us to book a room well enough ahead of time. So I'm going to go into my computer and show you how I booked the trip that way. So why wouldn't we want to go a more direct route? Well, first off, there are several states that we have been to, that Rachel and I have traveled to in our lifetimes, but let's just focus in on the states we've taken an electric vehicle to. So we live here in Texas. Before we bought our Bolt, I did go on a trip with a friend of mine in a Tesla Model 3. We clipped New Mexico because we went into Denver. Rachel hasn't gone with me on that. The next out-of-state trip that we had was to Sevierville, Tennessee, and it was the direct route, which means that we went through Arkansas and Tennessee. The next year, we decided to try something different, and we explored the southern route. So that way we went through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, we clipped Georgia into Tennessee and got ourselves to Sevierville. And so this was the map of our EV travels before we purchased our Tesla Model 3. I have to count these two because that's an EV road trip that was on the channel that went there. Then we got our Model 3, and the first out-of-state trip that we went to was Lake of the Ozarks State Park, which took us into Oklahoma and into Missouri. Well, last year, our big trip went all the way to Charlottesville, Virginia, and since it was the first trip with the Model 3 compared to the Bolt, we went as much of the exact same route as we had the year before, past Sevierville and went into Virginia, and so those were the states. For all of our EV travels, every EV road trip on this channel, those are the states that we've covered. So we wanted to go a little bit more of a direct route that would allow us to add South Carolina, North Carolina, West Virginia, and Kentucky to our EV map. So I wanted to do this, but first we have to get to where we're going in Virginia by a specific time, and we need to get back home by a specific time. So I had to be able to make all of that work out. We're not driving straight through. We're going to stop and get hotels. So exactly where do I want to get those hotels? So that's where a better route planner comes in. If I start from Fort Worth, Texas to Charlottesville, Virginia and click plan, it's going to take a little bit to load. And of course, I've got our car plugged in. The next time I click plan, I'll make a point of showing that to you. And it gives us that exact same straight route. Well, I know that I want to go this way. So what happens if I go through Shreveport, Louisiana? I'm going to restart. See, there's our car, Tesla Model 3, 2022 to 2023, standard range, 60 kilowatt. So I'm going to add a stop that I'm going to put in, and I'm going to say that we're going to go through Shreveport, Louisiana. Stick that in here. And now the plan is going to show me as soon as it finishes loading, it's probably going to take us, yeah, right there. That's the route that we took last year, through Birmingham, Chattanooga, into Knoxville, and then up this interstate into Virginia. Well, we want to come a little bit more this way. So this town right here, Greenville, South Carolina, is the next one I'm going to add to the trip to make sure that we route through it. So I'm going to type that in, and I'm going to let it plan. And after it loads, it's going to show us our route that we're going to need to go to get there. So what about on the way back? Well, we want to go through West Virginia and Kentucky. So I'm going to restart this. I'm going to add a stop in Lexington, Kentucky. There we go, at Lexington, Kentucky, because I've already researched this. And then I'm going to add our stop home. And this is going to show us the entire route. Put this down here at the very bottom. And this is what our entire route is going to end up looking like when we take this trip. Let it load for a second and you'll be able to see the whole thing. And this is what this is going to allow us to do, is have very little road time where we're going through the same area. The only real overlap is going to be down here in Dallas-Fort Worth. In fact, the toll road that we use to get out of town. In Charlottesville, it's just going to be a little bit of overlap there, but we're going to see a lot of different scenery on this trip, and that's going to make it a little bit more interesting. Does it take longer? Yes. But I think it's worth it. It's worth it for us to see the scenery. It's worth it for you guys. You don't get the same video repeated every year. But what about that specific time that we've got to get there? Well, what I did, I know I'm going this way, so I'm going to start in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm going to just close this stuff out, get rid of these, and I'm going to say Charlottesville, Virginia to Greenville, South Carolina. That was where I routed it to have it go through. And I'm going to click plan. So here's what I did as soon as it loads. So I know I'm going this way. I don't know why I pointed with my hand. I know I'm going this way. And if I'm able to leave close to full, then this is going to be my first charge stop here in Thomasville, North Carolina, and then Rustburg, Virginia. So what if I wanted to go all the way from here to here? Could I do that? I could probably do it. It's going to be kind of tough. If I left it 100%, I could. But if I go to Thomasville, Virginia, I'm going to know how long it is. But what about Rustburg? So if I pull up this charger in Rustburg, Virginia, I've got the address. I can then plug it into Google Maps, and I see how long it's going to take to get from Charlottesville to this charger in Rustburg. Why is this telling me it's so long? Oh yeah, because I'm going to going all the way to South Carolina. Do I have it going the wrong direction? I do. Let me restart that and put these in the correct order, and then it'll go the way that I wanted my video to go. So yeah, the first charge stop is going to be in Rustburg, Virginia, which according to Google Maps is, well, that whole trip's 382. So according to Google Maps, the trip to that address for the Rustburg, Virginia supercharger is 78 miles or an hour and 20 minutes. And so what I'm going to do is back time this. We know that we're going to try to get to our destination at 5 p.m. on Thursday night. So to get there at 5, an hour and 20 minutes before 5 is going to be 3:40. So we have to leave this supercharger at 3:40. A better route planner says it's a 5-minute charge. So that means we've got to get there by 3:35. Then I'm going to see how far it is to this charger in Colfax and back time that using the estimated time from Google Maps as well, plus the estimated time to charge on a better route planner. And I'm going to keep doing that until I'm at a time somewhere around 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's going to tell me where I'm going to get the hotel. When I find that town, I can also check this charger I can check this Rustberg charger on PlugShare, so I know what I'm getting into there. But having already done this, I know that where we're going to depart from that morning is Lawrenceville, Georgia. So I'm going to pull this up on PlugShare so that I can see what all is around. What I want there is a hotel, and I'm going to find it in Expedia and search. And there are two things that Rachel and I absolutely want on this hotel. We want breakfast to be included. That's just how we roll. And we want an electric car charging station. And then it's going to filter out the hotels that have breakfast and that have an EV charging station there included. And I believe that we are staying at this Home 2 Suites. So that's how we found our hotels. We did the same thing from Lawrenceville, Georgia, moving back, etc. So what does this mean for the trip? Let me close this. Going to close PlugShare, going to close this. So day number 1, we're going to go from our house. We're going to leave, I'll get home from work around 7 o'clock at night. This is a trick that we learned last year, was that if we can knock out 100 and so miles at night in the first evening, it makes the next day a little less taxing. So we're going to go from here to a hotel in Lindale, Texas, just outside of Tyler. And that's going to be 133 miles of driving that we're going to knock out that night. We're going to get a hotel here in Lindale. That's going to be short. This is all going to be done in a montage on the video. Then day 2, we're going to go from that hotel in Lindale outside of Tyler all the way to Lawrenceville, Georgia. This is going to be a big day. It's 732 miles, but we have done longer days than that by about 15 miles. So this is going to take us through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and instead of going north from Birmingham, we're going to continue going east until we get just outside of Atlanta, and hopefully we'll loop around and we'll hit Atlanta when it's night and won't be nasty traffic. And then from there, we'll go from Lawrenceville, Georgia, to our destination in Charlottesville, which is going to be another 488 miles. And that's going to be our first leg. Now, probably from Fort Worth to Lawrenceville will be part 1 of the video. Part 2 will be from Lawrenceville to Charlottesville. And then part 3 will be the trip home, starting with our short little knock something out the night before. But we're going to try to knock out 253 miles going from Charlottesville to Charleston, West Virginia, because there's not a lot of hotels with EV charging in this part of West Virginia. And if we stopped here, that's not far enough down the road for us. So we got a hotel in Charleston. So then the next full day, which will be the most of part 3 on the video, we're going to go from Charleston into Kentucky, through Lexington, head south, and then hit up with Interstate 40 in Nashville. And then we'll be on some familiar roads again, through Memphis, getting a hotel in Little Rock, and then part 4 and final of our video, the last leg home, from Little Rock into Texas along Interstate 30 and back through the southern side of the Metroplex until we get home. So that's what I did to plan this road trip that we have coming up. You don't need to go into that level of detail on your road trips. If you're fine just tapping it into the screen on the EV, then you go for it. But I wanted to share that with you. And Rachel, what are your thoughts about this upcoming trip that we've got?
I'm excited. We haven't been on any big road trips yet this year, and this is a trip we do every year. We always have a great time. We talk a lot in the car. We listen to audiobooks. We get to see cities and sometimes states that we've never been in before. We get to see plants that we don't get to see most of the time. So it's a good old time, and it's really fun and easy for me. He does all the driving, and also he does all the planning. He's a great road trip planner, and you've just learned how he does it.
Understand, I plan the trips this way because I like doing the planning of it. I actually enjoy doing that. You may not, and so definitely don't do it that way. Now, I'm releasing this video a little out of order. Last year, I put this trip planning video the week before. Like right after this came the trip itself, because when this video launched last year, we were on the trip. We still have about a week or so there's going to be 2 weeks before you see the first road trip video. And that's going to give us a little bit of time to get some of your comments. So what do you want us to show you on this trip to make it a little different from the previous trips that we've had before? Do you want to show you some more of the sites, talk about where we're going, make it a little bit more of a travel log? Because I think by this time we've proven that you can go this distance in an EV without it being much of a headache.
Yeah, there's no question anymore.
So what do you want us to cover? What do you want to see on this series of road trip videos that's coming up? So put that down in the comments.
Yeah.
Subscribe so you make sure you don't miss those road trip videos. And thanks for watching, guys.
We'll see ya.